Yeah. Well, this was one of the topics that I wanted to discuss, which is like it was a multi-generational family trip, which I know you guys have done before, especially with like Nick Hill's family down to Mexico and stuff. But when you
Yeah,
were
not a sightseeing thing like what you guys did, and you were moving around a lot.
we moved around, so we were in Turkey. It was, the age range was my nephew is the youngest, who's 15, to my dad, who's the oldest, is 79. So that's the range
Wow.
of parties. We chose Turkey for the reason that it kind of offered everyone a little bit of everything. Because I think I talked about this before, but we wanted to do a trip to celebrate my parents' anniversary. They just celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary, to celebrate my niece graduating from high school. One of these things where, with everyone getting busy, would we ever be able to do an international trip together? And this was the first time, like we never have before this. Different segments have traveled to different places, but this is the first time my whole immediate family traveled. So we landed on Turkey because it had a lot to offer. So we were there for about 10 days, and we did 3 days, 3 to 4 days total in Istanbul, which, I loved. Bustling city, so much, wonderful like food, architecture,
Such good food.
history. Yeah, like just has it all. Lots of good like sightseeing types of places, kind of in a traditional sense. And then we did 3 days in Antalya, which is on the Mediterranean. So we were at like an all-inclusive resort. This was particularly like my niece. It was her 18th birthday, and like this was the part that she loved the most because she's just like a beach girl. So being on
Love
the
it.
beach, like being by the pool, we did a boat ride in the Mediterranean. So that was like the mid portion, and then we did, I think, 3 or 4 days in Cappadocia, which was more like outdoorsy, just beautiful landscapes. We did a hot air balloon ride, which was like my parents' favorite part of the trip. Did a lot of like, not hiking per se, but like walking through kind of these like cool landscape structures there, these like fairy chimneys. And then, yeah. And so it was such a, it turned out to be like the perfect place to go for this kind of multi-generational family trip, because it really did offer kind of a wide range of things. We had, talked about, should we just do a beach thing? My parents aren't that interested in the beach. Then
Yeah.
we'd thrown out a few other destinations that were more like traditional sightseeing in Europe. But then, my niece and nephew were like, we're going to get bored if we're just like going to museums all day. And so this kind of trip ended up being great. And because Turkey, like all the destinations were about a 1 hour and a half-ish flight from each other. So the intra-country flights were pretty short. So yeah, it was great.
Did you plan everything, or did you work with like a travel advisor, or it was all you?
The family planned like the general kind of like outline of it. And then it was really just in Cappadocia. We had a tour guide, because in Cappadocia you have to have a car, so you can't just like
I
do it
see.
on your own. And so in Cappadocia we had a guide, but he helped coordinate other little logistical things. Like he booked us like a driver to pick us up from Istanbul, because we had so many people, like one of those like sprinter van types of
Oh,
deals.
nice.
And
Okay.
yeah, so he is he is a tour guide. And so he had a couple of contacts in Istanbul that helped us. But yeah, mostly we did the planning in terms of like picking the hotels and the activities and stuff like that.
That's really impressive, because that's a lot of no one had ever been there before, right? And
I'd been
so,
to Istanbul, but it had been 20 years almost. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, like picking hotels, and also just figuring out, okay, we're gonna get on a flight at this time, and we need to leave the hotel at this time. And then yeah, it's just all of the logistical things for
Yeah.
that many people, and with the age range, and just trying to anticipate who's going to get tired when. And like, luckily everyone's an adult, right? I mean, even
Yeah,
15, like,
basically.
yeah, yeah, you're not dealing with like small children that have a much more maybe temperamental attitude or more limitations there, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
that's really
it was great. It was my mom did the heavy lifting on the planning. And yeah, like I've never, or I shouldn't say never, but mostly when I travel, it is like I'm the one planning, or it's not being planned by like a professional. It's being planned by me and whoever I'm traveling with. And I think like that in some ways, there's two sort of ways to look at it. On the one hand, like if you're a little bit of a type A control freak, the planning gives you, and my mom really is. So she like wanted to make sure she saw all of the things she was supposed to see. So she needed to research and know what are the things to see and come up with her list. So there's that piece of it. There's also the piece of it can be kind of fun, like the anticipation of like, oh my God, this is so cool. And now with social media, you can like discover places that you maybe otherwise like wouldn't have known about. We're like, oh, I'm going to add this restaurant. Like we went to this beautiful restaurant in Istanbul that I think I saw on Instagram or TikTok. And it's like, yeah, I would never have known to go there, but for like doing a little bit of research on social media. On the other hand, like for like the family members and the people on the trip they're all family, but the family like who hadn't done any of the research, like for some of them, like some of the places that we stopped at or the hotels, like in Cappadocia we stayed at a cave hotel, which is pretty common, but the hotel is literally built into the
so cool.
landscape, and it's like the people who didn't do the research and didn't look at the itinerary, so it's like half the family, like they were just like, whoa, this is so cool, like we had no idea. So it's like it feels like there's this element of surprise when you're on the receiving end of the itinerary. But yeah, it was not too hard to plan, and it was a really, really wonderful trip. Like highly recommend, I guess because of the wars and just everything happening in the universe. Tourism is down there. So there were still tourists, but not nearly as many. Like we didn't have long lines really anywhere at all. So,
but it looked safe. It looked like you had an amazing time. So yeah, go to Turkey. Everyone should go to Turkey.
Everyone should go to Turkey, but like specifically if you're trying to plan a trip where you're like, I want to do something that everyone from like the grandparents to I wouldn't necessarily go to Turkey with like a 3-year-old. So I think at least like when the kids are like a little bit older, just because it is a lot of like walking. But it's a good place. Go to Turkey.
I really want to go back there. I too went like 20 years ago, and Nikhil has never been. And I think I've been to Bodrum and Istanbul. Haven't been to Cappadocia or anywhere else. But I really want to go to some of the Turkish islands that are next to the Greek islands. I guess that would be, is it the Aegean Sea? I would love to do that. I'd like to spend a couple of weeks there. I would not complain.
Oh, I wouldn't complain either.
We'll have to plan a trip back. We'll figure out an excuse to get ourselves over to Turkey.
Well, you recently traveled too, right?
Yes. So I was I was going to say something about the parents not looking at the itinerary, which I think is something that's relatively common among, I don't know if it's just our South Asian parents or that whole generation. I feel like they like to receive an itinerary, but they don't like really look at it.
My mom looks at it, but my dad definitely doesn't. Yeah. My mom like plans it. So she's really into it. But yeah, I think like, why don't more people,
or they won't like click the link, even with little things like I don't know, like the restaurant menu. Like Nikhil's family and I went to a restaurant here in Los Angeles, Safi's, for brunch the other day, and his parents were afraid. Safi's it's a Middle Eastern restaurant, and they thought, it's Israeli specifically, but they thought that it was going to be like kebabs, and they didn't want kebabs for relatively early in the afternoon. It was like noon. And it was a brunch kind of situation. So they were like, oh, we don't really want to, like, let's go somewhere else. We don't want to have that. And there were no kebabs there served during brunch. That's not even an option. It's like Arabic breakfast, pastries, and some like pita sandwiches. And we ended up going, and everyone loved it.
Of course,
And it took like bone in my body not to be like, told you guys, like, you could have just like looked at the menu, but yeah, they don't want to look at the menu sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I feel like looking at menus has been like, with my family, we're at a point now where usually like I will order for the table. So I feel like, especially if we're going to like a North Indian restaurant, which is like the type of restaurant we go to most often as a family. So even if the looking at the menu definitely doesn't happen, or like when we travel, it's one of two things. Either I'm like looking and deciding for everybody, or my mom is looking and struggling to determine what is vegetarian. And like that is the whole focus of the menu, is like identify what is vegetarian, or what is vegetarian without mushrooms. Because does your mom eat mushrooms?
No, she does not. She definitely does not like a mushroom.
That's like so hard, because so often the vegetarian dish is like here in
it's like a giant like here's a
portobello mushroom
with like an egg on top and
exactly
like cheese underneath. Like there's nothing a Hindu vegetarian hates more than
why
portobello mushroom.
I actually like need to understand better that like why Indians, like Indian Hindu vegetarians, don't like mushrooms.
I think
it's because the texture is meat-like. I think that's why.
I think there's a texture, but I also wonder if it's like the whole like the fungus of it, the notion that it's like if you're not eating garlic or things that are coming from the ground because you consider that impure, I don't think you're going to want to eat
a mushroom. That's true. My parents, my parents eat garlic, and they eat garlic and onions and stuff. But
my mom eats garlic and onions, and she definitely cooked with it a lot, with garlic and onions more when I was growing up, and my dad was in the house, and there were people who enjoyed garlic and onions, but left to her own devices, she's not really using either of those.
Interesting.
But then we'll go to an Italian restaurant and she will have garlic bread, and she'll have like
so there's some flexibility there.
There is flexibility. There is flexibility there. There's not flexibility with mushrooms.
There's no flexibility. Okay, I'm gonna have to. We should each ask our moms why they don't eat mushrooms, and then report back to see if they have the same answer.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Yes. Yeah. And knowing my mom, she will probably comment on this podcast.
On the post, yes.
Maybe she will enlighten us with some kind of lore
explanation. Watch it be totally different than what we. So my best guess is that it has like the texture of it is too meat like. Your best guess is that the from the ground fungus aspect. Let's see if either of us or neither of us are right.
Yeah, because she eat jackfruit. Jackfruit is a newly or popular kind of substitute for. And she eats jackfruit and likes it. That's like but I guess it's kind of artichoke-y too. But I do think of it as being meatier than a mushroom, really. But yeah, this is I'm interested to see where this goes.
I mean, I also think sometimes like even eggplant, like lots of vegetables, like mushrooms a portobello is one thing, but like regular like mushrooms do not have like that such a thick texture.
That's true. Eggplants can also be a little bit meaty.
Anyway, let's talk about something else, which is like your travels. Where did you guys go?
So we went to Cabo for Nikhil's birthday last weekend, and Cabo, like one thing I love about it, door to door from our house to get to one of the many resorts that are in Cabo San Lucas, San Jose del Cabo, it's like 5 hours, including the flight. which is, and provided everything runs on time and all of that.
Right.
It's kind of amazing. It's like, all right, and you feel like you're in another world. Of course, I've been to Cabo. Both of us have been to Cabo more times than we can count. And I was like, okay, this is going to be, we've been there before, but this is going to be a beautiful weekend by the beach, like no jet lag. It may not be remarkable, but like whatever. It doesn't need to be like the trip of a lifetime. I was so floored by this resort. I'm like, I thought I like knew the lay of the land in Cabo. This like blew it out of the water. It's Las Ventanas I shouldn't even, I'm embarrassing myself. Al Paraíso. How do you say paradise in Spanish?
Yeah, Paraíso.
Oh, wow. Okay, you say it a lot better than I do. Paraíso.
I'm like looking it up right now just to see if Paraíso. Maybe it's, no, I think it's Paraíso. Yeah. There's not an I after that.
So I don't.
Las Ventanas al Paraíso. I think it's Paraíso. That is how you say it, Paraíso. That's my final answer. If someone knows how to say it, drop a phonetic spelling in the comments.
Please,
I think it's
please help us. That the I with the little slash above it. This place is just absolutely phenomenal, and it was one of the first luxury resorts in Cabo. It's been around it'll be 30 years next summer, and it's got everything that you want in a beach resort vacation. Of course, well, it's Cabo, so you can't actually swim in the water because you'll get like swept away, and that's just the fact of what it is down there. But there are so many swimming pools. We were in a villa that had its own private pool. We didn't go to any of the main pools once. We were just like, this is fantastic. There's a speaker. There was a full kitchen. We had a butler that unpacked for us, repacked for us, made us margaritas, brought us the breakfast quesadillas. I wouldn't even consider myself a quesadilla person, and I could not get enough of them. They were filled with different kind of toppings every day. There was this zucchini and corn one that was amazing. There was an asparagus one, a chicken tinga. Like, they were also good. Incredible salsas, the like shrimp tacos. All of that was fantastic. There is a speakeasy on the property it has like a cool like kind of reveal, like you have to say a password and the curtain opens and they ask if you're the police and you say no, and it's a fun little show. But they have a singer there named Rosalia, and I believe she is Cuban, but does this every night. I think they start around like 8 or 9 p.m. and they keep it going until like past midnight, longer if guests are still there and like want to keep partying. But live song, dance, like a contortionist. I
think I lost you for a second.
Those like, oh no, oh yeah, I think it's like glitching a little bit. Passed out those like LED sparkler things and had everyone's floor and club, but it feels very like small and classy, and you're not leaving your resort. So
that's amazing. That's like the perfect way to like, okay, the internet is not our fan today. We are getting.
I'm okay.
Are you okay?
I think it's all right. Yeah. Okay. It's all right on my side. Yeah, you're not paused at all.
Great.
But one of the best parts, I mean, everything was like the best part, but another thing that surprised me was we did wine tasting, and now you and I have done. I'm sure we've done a wine tasting in Cabo. I know we've done tequila
tasting. Yeah, I don't know if we've done wine, but
because Mexican wine has become a huge thing over the past like 10 years.
Like we've each been to Valle de Guadalupe down there, like not in Cabo, but in Valle, like, yeah. But I don't think we've done it together. No,
we haven't been there together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they had a wine tasting on our itinerary, and I assumed it was going to be like a tasting of Mexican wines, which I love Mexican wines. Great, that sounds fantastic. And it ended up being something completely different. It was a tasting outdoors with the resort's wine director. Actually, her name is Genevieve, and she oversees the wine program of all the Rosewood hotels in North America.
Mm-hmm.
So that includes like the Carlisle in New York City, Rosewood Miramar in Montecito, like many fabulous properties that are also well known for having incredible wine and food and cocktails. And she was pouring only natural wine. And I don't know, she tailors tastings to the individual. Like there's nothing that's sort of like by the book. It's all like curated based on what she thinks you'll enjoy, what you said you liked. We didn't offer any guidance. And she came up with this totally all natural wine pairing that I did not believe the hype about natural wine at all. And I certainly drank my fair share of it. Woke up the next morning. I actually went back and like worked after I read and thought I was going to go to sleep. And I'm like, you know what? I have like, there was something I'd been meaning to write. And I like wrote this newsletter and queued it up to go. And then the next morning I woke up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and saw the sunrise and was like, I don't feel anything. I feel wonderful. Yeah.
That's
so
incredible.
I'm a huge, and I'm now a natural wine.
Well, I was going to say, what makes a natural wine a natural wine?
It's a great question. And there is no universally agreed upon answer, which is also what makes this category very murky, no pun intended, because a lot of natural wines are themselves like unfiltered. And so they look like murky and cloudy and all of that. But no, it's some people will say, oh, it can't have any sulfites. You can't add any non-natural, you can't add any chemicals to it. You can only ferment. And here's where like, I certainly know how to taste wine. I'm not great at talking about the actual like fermentation process, but in general, it means that you're not adding sort of flavor additives or there's a chemical called oh God, what is it? Purple something that just like makes wines more purple and robust and vibrant, and like it'll give them like the color that will make someone think like, oh, I should pay a lot of money for this. So you can't add anything like that. Mm-hmm. And it's just supposed to be low intervention. And like the way that they made wine back in the year like 2000 BC or whatever wine started being made.
Sounds like the right
year. Back in Turkey, back in Georgia, actually, the birthplace of wine. But yeah, it's and there are people who take it to an extreme of like natural means that you can only use grapes from your regional area. Like you can't go, if you live in California, you can't go source grapes from France and then bring them to California and make wine like that. Or if you're in Napa, you can't like use grapes that are grown in Sonoma in your wines. That wouldn't be like natural. I actually want to write a bit about this because I myself, there's been like factions of natural wine enthusiasts who have like very strict kind of ideals that they want everyone to agree upon. And then there are people that are like, this is not, there's no point, like this is supposed to be something that's enjoyable to drink, and you're getting too strict and too like into the weeds with the rules around it. So anyway, what I take it to mean is no chemicals that make you feel hungover.
Yeah, well, that's incredible. I mean, the other thing I was going to talk to you about is that I went wine tasting. Well, I went to Moldova after Turkey.
Oh, yes.
One of the things that we did in Moldova was wine tasting. And I think I had mentioned this to you over text before our trip, but I didn't know that Moldova was so well known for wine, but when you go there,
I
like
didn't know that either.
that, it is like something they're so proud of. It is so integrated into their lifestyle. Like 11:30 a.m. we land. We went to Moldova because Juan grew up there. He spent like 4 years there during elementary school. And
Wow.
and he's
And
still in.
so does he remember it?
Yeah. He remembers it.
Wow.
Like, so he like has, he's shared with me over the years, like all the stories about, his nanny, her name is Dwamna Maria, and like how, close they were, about like where he would ride his bike around the lake, the market. He went back there himself, I think like 4 years ago, for the first time since he moved out. Like, I think he was there from age 6 to 10. And then this time, like I joined him. So he had been there 4 years ago. So he'd been there more recently, but he's still in touch with like his former nanny and a few other like people that were his mom's friends back when he lived there. So we went there, like met everyone. It was amazing. Also very cool to hear like him speak Romanian, because like I
Oh,
knew
wow.
he knew a little bit, and he's definitely not, he is not fluent or anything, but like he knew so much more than I realized that he knew. So that was kind of cool. It's cool to see like your significant other doing something like that you haven't seen them do before.
Yeah.
I was like, this is very hot. It came back to him like so quickly. I was like, wait, what? You're like, I'm like,
Uh,
what's happening? You're playing interpreter?
Seeing
Um,
your significant other speak another language and do it well is, yeah, a pretty big turn on.
yeah, I was like, this is like, again, just, I think it's because I didn't realize like how much he knew. So it like really it caught me by surprise. Kind of like the way the rest of the family was surprised by the cave hotel. I guess like when you just like don't know something and then you see it and you're just like, oh my God, this is like extra exciting. But yeah, so we went to, we consumed so much wine. Like we get to Moldova, the go to the church that the nanny, like the family, like kind of works in. They had lunch for us. It was like 11:30, but the first thing they did was give me like a glass of wine and him some, what did they give him? Cognac.
Mm.
And like just drink, like this is such a part of culture. I mean, like in a lot of Europe,
Of course, yeah.
but
It's
we
how you
went
welcome
to.
people home. Yeah.
Exactly. It's just, and then we went, well, I'll get to this in a second, but we went to this winery called Krikova, which is this really huge underground. Like I've never been to like a place like this. Like you have to wear coats because you're underground and it's so chilly.
Oh, wow.
And like it's this wine cellar, I don't know, it's not a cellar, but it's this wine experience where you're like in a little trolley and like go from area to area. Really, really cool space. Like I
So
haven't,
it's not a winery exactly. It's like a
it's,
wine.
it is a winery because it's a wine producer, but
Okay.
it's in a subterranean underground city.
Oh my
And that
gosh.
was originally used as mines. It was carved into former limestone mines. So it's 75
Wow.
miles of tunnels.
Oh my
So the
gosh.
whole thing is underground. So usually when you think of wine tasting, like I think of like Napa, where we're sitting with like
Sure.
looking
Yes.
over the grapes, and no, this whole thing is underground. I'm going to post some pictures on my Instagram because I haven't had a chance to post all of them yet. But it's incredible. The wines we had were so good. We ended up bringing a bunch back home, but I don't think like a lot of the wineries in Moldova ship. So it felt extra special to like
Yeah.
bring back a bunch of the bottles. But yeah, it was very, very cool. And also left me like just thinking about how, like, I feel like in American culture, and this is not a bad thing, this is a good thing, but I feel like right now there's such an emphasis on like not drinking. And we've like talked about this, like we know that alcohol has lots of negative properties and that it's not good for your health. But it's so different when you were in a place like when we were in Moldova, like, even like I said, Juan's nanny, she's in her her older sister is in her late 70s, and they're like, drinking plenty of wine. And it's just,
Yeah.
it's just such a different concept. So I was like, this is like a very interesting shift to be in a culture that feels, not to say that people here aren't drinking. Obviously, tons of people are still drinking, but I feel like there's such a like prevalence in like today's discussion about like not drinking and like avoiding alcohol.
Well, there's this like, yeah, it's this very puritanical sort of like I'm not going to drink because I'm going to optimize, and I don't want to have a bad sleep score, and I'm like counting my calories and like all these things that are basically like against the way that people in Moldova and many, many parts of Europe and parts of the world have been living for centuries, where it's like this wine, this is like this is an agricultural product. It's a product of our land. We've been having it for generations, and we're living into our 70s and beyond and fine and happy, and it's a social beverage. So it's like giving people an excuse to get together and to like share moments that you might not when you're like inhaling a sweet green salad and like chasing it down with a Diet Coke and going back to work. It's just like, no, we just like have it so backwards. And I also, I'm really looking forward to the like turn of mocktails, in the sense of like when people finally realize like a mocktail it's like sugar. You're drinking a glorified juice soda. I know that people put work into them. I know that there are many people who like them, but just because it doesn't have alcohol doesn't mean it's healthy. And it's not like,
yeah. Do people drink mocktails because, I mean, I guess a mocktail versus the exact same drink with alcohol, the mocktail is healthier.
I don't think so. I mean, I think it depends on how you're defining health, right?
Yeah,
like I think if you were to compare like nutritional, like how many grams of sugar is in the mocktail versus the cocktail, or
but I feel like most people aren't doing it because it's like healthy or low calorie. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting point, because I feel like we're also part of a generation that like was fed the knowledge of like don't consume calories through liquids, and so we're diet everything, and like as a result, like especially like women our age, like we never drank juice because we were like, no, it has calories.
Right. Why would I do that? Calories. Right. Why, if I'm going to drink something with calories, it's going to be an alcoholic drink. Yeah, I'm not going to have like
the only exception.
Especially like maybe a fresh squeezed orange juice, but if you're giving me like a lemonade out of a can, like why am I having that? No.
That's who I honestly, to this day, I've recently on the plane been really into drinking apple juice. So that is
sometimes that's good.
Yeah.
Sometimes
like
an apple juice hits.
But
I think I think just the way that they consume in Europe. I'm looking forward to I actually head to Athens on Monday with my mom,
nice.
And we're spending a little bit of time in Greece before getting on a cruise that will go down through a little bit of Greece and then Croatia, Montenegro, up to Venice, and then we fly home from Venice. Yeah,
awesome.
I was not on the fence exactly, but just kind of apprehensive and feeling like, okay, this is a lot of time away and I need to be doing like X, Y, and Z. And then I don't know, something kind of clicked where I'm like, there's internet everywhere. There's no reason why I can't like do the variety of like things that I'm supposed to be doing while I'm in Greece and on a cruise where you have your Starlink internet and plenty of time to kill. So yeah, it's going to be fine. It's going to be great. There will be lots of natural wine. Let's hope.
Let's hope. That sounds amazing. Let's talk about the Netflix show, because I feel like
let's talk about the Netflix show. Yes, let's talk about the next Netflix show. Let's also I had all of these strong feelings about this Netflix show earlier, and then I've been consumed by this hotel kettle Keurig.
Oh, we can postpone, we can rain check on the Netflix show to talk about the Keurig hotel kettle thing, because that is, I feel like you're
Absolutely. I just haven't, I can't even, it's so disturbing.
okay.
It's
So you
so
have to.
disturbing. Okay.
I saw I saw your story, so I know what it's about. But okay, tell us what's going on.
Okay, so in my, I'm looking at Instagram this morning and all these like random reels are popping up, and I see this video of someone making lasagna in making lasagna in a hotel room. It's called like come with me to make like hotel room lasagna. The person puts like sheets of pasta in a boiling electric kettle in the hotel room, sautés like ground beef in a aluminum tin on top of an iron. It's like the whole thing is so disgusting. Like good for, okay, yes, it's a funny video, but like who on earth, who would ever do this? Why are you doing this? Why do you have raw ground beef in your hotel room? Like anyway, whatever. I go, and so I'm like, okay, haha, this is funny. And then I look at the comments, and the top comment is like, this is the grossest thing about this is that I heard of this hack where people are washing their underwear in electric kettles in hotels, and I'm like, what? And then there are a bunch more comments like that, like, oh yeah, I heard people like wash their boxers in the kettle, and I'm just like, so okay, so I share this on Instagram, and I'm like being baffled about the fact that anyone would do this. And then people start DMing me saying that Keurig machines are commonly like, I don't even understand where the underwear goes in the little pod. I think I'm so disgusted that I wasn't able to watch the TikTok from the influencer who like kicked off this
feel nauseous
trend, or kicked off the publicizing the fact that this is now widespread knowledge that people have been apparently doing this for years.
I just Googled hotel kettle uses, and the AI responses, which are largely pulled from from a July 2nd, this is very timely, 2026 travel and leisure story says, however, viral travel stories and housekeeping staff reveal guests sometimes use them for unsanitary purposes, such as, like, stay calm, such as cooking rice, boiling eggs, or even washing underwear and menstrual cups.
Ew!
I hate humans. Like, we like.
Why? What?
Who? First of all, what? I feel like only nicer hotels have hotel kettles. Like, I stay at a wide range of hotels, especially when I travel for work, and like the hotel kettles are not present in like the 2 or 3 star hotels. I think it's like a nicer hotel thing, which means that it's also a hotel that has laundry service. You know what I mean? It's like
most likely,
yeah. Yeah, like you were staying at a hotel that likely has laundry service, that likely has
if you have a Keurig in your room, if you have a kettle in your room, because sometimes even if you don't have it in the room, if you call down,
they'll bring it up.
They'll bring one up. But you know me and my hot lemon water.
Yeah.
I use a hotel kettle every morning.
Oh my God. Well, the person that is going to be devastated by this is my mom, because she likes to take these like Indian instant packets, like kind of like instant noodles, but they're not. It's like, whatever. And then gets the hotel kettle and pours it, into the cup. And then she has her Indian food. So she actually uses hotel kettles quite often when she travels. But this is disgusting. Like, what's wrong with people?
I just like, I have so many questions. I don't have as much of an issue with cooking rice or boiling eggs, although like both of
Ew,
those things
no,
are
that's
both.
just gross. Because you're not washing the kettle with soap and water after the inside.
You're not, and theoretically housekeeping should, but apparently at a lot of hotels that's not actually something that's happening. And so they always say rinse out a hotel kettle. Just yeah, I do that I always rinse it. I look inside. If it looks gross, I'm certainly not going to use it. But I don't know. I've never noticed anything like weird about an electric kettle in a hotel that I've stayed in. And as far as the washing of socks, apparently a lot of like there's this someone who used to work with a very popular chain of hotels that are used by business travelers, said that this was like she was told by their staff like never use the kettles because a lot of salespeople, when they stay with us, they're only they're going from this location to the next location, and they like don't have time to go home or do laundry. But like you could still have your laundry done. I don't know. I guess they're trying to. I get it. You're trying to save a buck. Sucks that your company is not giving you an allowance for that. But they're washing not only their underwear, their socks.
So wait, okay. So are they just putting it in the hot water and
That's
like, are they throwing a Tide Pod in there, or is it just like a little bit of soap and the hot water?
And then what are they? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, and then you're just like letting it boil.
That's what I was gonna say. Why not? Not that anyone should really be doing this, but it's certainly more sanitary. Why not just like boil the water and then like use the hot water to like clean it in the sink? You know what I mean?
Yeah, or just like use the hot water in the sink or the bathtub, like the way that you would hand wash anything else. I've done that before in a pinch, and it's like, okay, that's fine. Like, or with a bathing suit, with like,
I'm so confused.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I think it's this stupid TikTok video of the girl like shoving. I can't bring myself to watch it. I'm just assuming here, but. I'm like, wait, what are you? Also, like those Keurig machines have like residual coffee in them. So like,
maybe it's in the water chamber, or no? Is she using?
No, honestly, I think the idea is that you put it where the coffee pod would go because then the water runs through it.
We've lost our mind. Like all of these people should be banned. Anyone who has posted a video of them doing this should be banned from every hotel chain.
Yeah.
Like,
don't do that.
Is so disgusting.
Don't do that. So like it's so disgusting, and it's so like, it's like, why can't we have nice things? Do you think this can't happen in other countries? I cannot believe that this would happen in other countries. Who knows? I don't know. This strikes me as like a very American, like, yeah, of course, like, because sure, you have like consultants who are, I don't know, maybe they're on the road for weeks at a time, but like really like now in the age of like Zoom and AI and companies not wanting to hire anyone, like, is this really happening where people are on the road that much that they need to wash their socks in a Keurig or an electric kettle?
I can't. I'm like really, really like just disturbed. I'm disgusted, disturbed. I have like so many questions. Like, it's just so gross. God.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just gonna, people say don't drink coffee on an airplane, and I you know what? I've done it before. I do it like anytime I'm taking a morning flight. I'm drinking coffee on the plane.
Oh, nothing's really?
Nothing's happened.
Yeah, I mean,
nothing's happened with the electric kettle hotel usage. What can we do? Or here's the other way we can think about it. Like, think about what happens in a restaurant kitchen that you never know.
Yeah, about. I know. That's the thing. Is like that. This is also. It's like it's good to know this stuff. Like, I will never use a hotel kettle again. Obviously, after this, I don't think. I mean, I didn't really use them much to begin with. I don't think I don't think I will. I think this is the end of the hotel kettle run for me. But that's what I was going to say.
At luxury hotels, it's not happening. at least one of the hotels that I talked to said like, we've never heard of this. I don't think this is happening at any of our properties, but
again, how do we know? But the other thing about it is now that it's been on TikTok, you know that there are going to be more people like there are going to be people like us, the rational ones who are disgusted by it, who are like squaring off using it, or going to start thoroughly like washing it beforehand. But then there are also going to be some crazy ass people who are like, oh, this is like such a good idea. I can just like, wash my socks in the hotel kettle. So it might happen more. Like
so
now,
stupid.
Yeah. Now all the copycats are going to like try to recreate this trend. So
like, what are you doing with your wet socks afterwards? Like you're putting them in the bathroom, I assume, or like, what are you doing? You're just like leaving it on the ground. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is why we can't have nice things because people use hotel kettles for
Keurigs and kettles to wash their underwear. Yeah.
The Keurig part does kind of freak me out because that's like, oh God, that needle that you can't even clean that. I'm not going to try to clean a Keurig needle in a hotel.
This is like, yeah. I mean, it's sometimes like the more we learn about things, I'm like, we can't consume anything. We can't touch anything. We can't eat anything. Everything is disgusting. Everything's disgusting.
We just have to go to Europe and drink natural wine.
Yeah, exactly. It's the only safe beverage. We can't have hot water. We can't have coffee. Just natural wine.
Yeah, I think the other topic I want to talk about today, we can save for another time.
Okay.
I feel like we don't need to. Yeah.
We don't need to segue there after talking
we don't need to segue into that. We've got lots to think about between your lovely travels, my upcoming travels, this hotel kettle issue that's going to haunt us forever.
What is the cruise? Are you and your mom sharing a room?
Yeah, we're sharing a room.
Have you guys done a cruise together before?
We did this will be our third. So in November we did that transatlantic crossing.
That's right. Yes.
That was 7 days at sea. So this is 7 days with, I think there's only one day where we're at sea. Every other day there's like, we're stopping at a port and getting off the boat. So the first time we did one was Alaska, which I'm going to be honest was not of course, Alaska is beautiful. The landscape is beautiful, but the general vibe of an Alaska cruise for a mother-daughter, for me, for my mom and me as her daughter is not.
It wasn't the right vibe.
It's just like a little, it was a little bit, that cruise was like very like multi-generational, like big multi-generational families. The cruise line put us at a dinner table. Like every night we sat at the same table with like I think it was maybe 6 or 7 other like single elderly travelers. One of whom was this very crotchety man who said that I told him I was a writer. I hadn't written any books at that time. So I was like, yeah, I'm a journalist. I write for the New York Times. And he was like, the only Times that matters is the Times of London. All right.
Thank you,
nice
sir.
to meet you too.
Wow. Well, I hope you meet
Jim.
some interesting characters on this cruise, and you'll have to keep us posted on whether you use a kettle or like in-room coffee.
I'm 100% going to. I can't travel with I'm not doing that. That's just
no collapsible kettle. No,
not yet. I'm gonna go with willful ignorance. If it looks fine, it's probably fine.
It's a good philosophy. I do want to point out that you do sometimes travel with a lemon. I like how you're like, there's no way drinking a collapsible kettle.
But the lemon, that's an issue of being, I don't want to have to pay for
Yeah.
the
Okay.
lemon. Like and I don't want to have to go find a
Find a
lemon.
lemon.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So that's not like a food. That's not a safety issue. That's just not
I
wanting to.
well, I do like imagining you having like a packing cube with your collapsible kettle and your lemon. It's like your morning.
Well, I need your curly hair routine because I don't even want to bring a straightening iron. Like
Oh yeah, you shouldn't. Um,
yeah.
you shouldn't. But like, bring a good. Do you have like a good curl cream?
Yes. I do
Yeah,
have a good curl cream.
good curl
I
cream. A
do.
little bit of like Olaplex or some kind of like hair oil.
Yeah, yeah. I have the Olaplex hair oil that you recommended, which I love. That one's
Mm-hmm.
good. And I would bring if it were, I don't know, a domestic trip and I knew that the Dyson hair dryer and the diffuser would work, I
Yeah,
would bring that, but I'm not gonna bring that.
don't risk
I
it.
cares? Yeah, I don't want to spend my time like blow drying my curls and worrying that I'm
Yeah.
going to short out a Dyson.
Honestly, and in Turkey, like I wore my hair back a lot, and I feel like
Yeah,
that's just also like
yeah,
so much easier. Which of course, when you're on a cruise, like you're not. I mean, actually, no, there are going to be like some. Not that you're not going to try to look nice and dress to impress, but like you can do that with like a chic bun.
yeah. The only really, actually, I'm very excited about this kind of dressy fun thing we're doing is we're attending the wedding of a woman whose hotels I've stayed at on the island of Eos. She's
Ooh!
getting married next weekend and we're going
Oh
to
my
be there. And
god!
so we're going to go to a big fat Greek wedding. And I'm
Oh my
so
god!
excited.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
I can't wait. You're gonna have the
I
best time.
I can so we're not going to be there for the official wedding, but we're there for like the first night. It's like an Indian wedding, like a 3-night affair. So yeah. So I will report back and we'll figure out time zone stuff if we can do one
Yeah.
of these from there or for sure when I'm back.
Okay, awesome. Well, I hope you have a wonderful trip. It was so good catching up.
So good catching up. But okay, talk to you soon. I'll let you know what happens with the kettle.
All right.
I love
Bye.
you.
Love you.
Bye.